Hi everyone, I am Jacqueline Donnell McWhorter. I received my PhD in cultural anthropology from the University of Florida. I am a white woman with blonde hair wearing a gray shirt. I am in my home office with vibrant yellow walls, a palm plant, and traditional wooden instruments hung on the wall from the Brazilian martial art of Capoeira, which I will discuss in this presentation. I will be reading a paper for this talk. In this research, I explore how individuals in the low-income periphery of São Paulo, Brazil, use the Afro-Brazilian martial art of capoeira as a tool for social inclusion in an area of high crime rates, violence, and insecurity. Living as a capoeirista forms a philosophy of life for these practitioners and provides them with a sense of citizenship and resistance to the hegemonic societal norms. However, these unequal systems of power and oppression are recreated within the realm of capoeira, complicating the rhetoric reflected in the interviews. Ideally, capoeira in and of itself is a beautiful, holistic art which aids in social inclusion to those who open themselves up to the possibilities and experiences. However, the human element added to the concept of capoeira is what creates further conundrum and discontent as we add our unique experiences to everything that we encounter. I employ Paulo Freire's critical Marxist and phenomenological approach to dissect the underlying implications of social inclusion for the practitioners of capoeira, who are called capoeiristas, in the periphery of São Paulo, Brazil. Capoeira is a Brazilian martial art with roots in anti-slavery and resistance to colonial domination. Research on capoeira demonstrates the origin of the art, the lessons that students learn, and the complications of the practice. I address the following research question. How does capoeira affect the habitus of its practitioners, and what further implications does this martial art have on these capoeiristas? Through extensive participant observation in the community and a series of unstructured interviews, I demonstrate that capoeira is a philosophy of life for its practitioners and becomes a form of social inclusion for individuals in a marginalized community. Due to its historical significance in Brazilian culture, capoeira has developed as a strong symbol of resilience and resistance for marginalized populations in Brazil and more recently abroad. Capoeira was first developed in the late 1600s by enslaved Africans in Brazil to rebel against their owners and seek freedom. After liberation, it developed further as a means to defend their communities from outsiders. Since then, it has further evolved to become an art form and philosophy of life in contemporary society as it represents a more generalized struggle against oppression and offers a message of hope. Today, capoeira has evolved and is often employed in low-income communities as a tool for social development to overcome oppression and offers youth an alternative path to drug trafficking and violence. Capoeira is a diversion from daily life in the periphery of São Paulo. In addition, it expands beyond the Capoeira Academy to teach lessons that are useful in daily life on the streets. This research demonstrates alternatives to the development discourse by observing ways that community-based approaches apply culture as a tool for resilience and resistance in the modern struggle for citizenship and agency by providing a voice for individuals in a marginalized low-income community in the periphery of São Paulo to tell their story. As Mestre Accordion explains, capoeira is not just a sport, it is quote-unquote a way of life. This is why I characterize capoeira as being a philosophy of life, as it teaches us so much more about the world around us. Therefore, capoeira encompasses an art form within a game as a philosophy of life that is applicable elsewhere. The game of capoeira teaches lessons of historical resilience in the music lyrics and cunning, which is an important lesson in slavery and still highly applicable in modern society today, especially in the corrupt system in Brazil. It also teaches life lessons on social situations of not letting your guard down and trusting other individuals during physical play, of challenging yourself and your body and overcoming difficulties, building strength and character. Another lesson in building cultural citizenship is being accountable to the consequences of your actions and to be conscious of your behavior, because of how you treat people in the game is how you often in turn will be treated. Capoeiristas are also taught specific techniques in the game that are applied to life. such as to catch yourself when you fall and always be alert to your surroundings to avoid danger. All of these observations lead naturally to the question, what does it mean to quote unquote live as a capoeirista? My research is geographically situated in the periphery of the city of São Paulo, Brazil. São Paulo is Brazil's largest city with a population of over 12 million in the city limits and 21 million in the larger metropolitan area. It is estimated that 20 to 30% of the city's population resides in urban slums, often referred to as favelas, accounting for approximately 3 million people within the city limits. São Paulo contains the largest slum population in South America, as more than 70% of its housing is substandard and 1/3 of the city's population is below the poverty line. São Paulo experiences a high crime rate with offenses ranging from theft to homicide. Street crimes are an immense problem, most prevalent being armed robberies and rape. During my research, there were a total of 962 documented homicide victims in the city of São Paulo between July 2016 and June 2017, with peripheral areas bearing the majority. Due to the economic situation in Brazil, violence becomes more prevalent and exacerbated in urban areas. Insecurity then becomes normalized. It is a way of life. Insecurity is enculturated into the youth and creates a vicious cycle as children become adolescents and later adults who then become examples for their own children, as presented in research data. In my research community, there is a large capoeira group on one of the main avenues in the neighborhood. This community sits on the outskirts of São Paulo, in the periphery as they call it, with the majority of the activity occurring on Avenida 1, or First Avenue, with the hustle and bustle of traffic both on foot, with buses, cars, motorbikes, and bicycles alike. The majority of the residents are lower working class of either unskilled factory labor or part of the informal sector, working as seamstresses from home or informal food production, offering cakes or dishes to be delivered from the home as well, while others are involved in illicit activities for sustenance income. The perceptions mentioned from an outsider residing in a different area of the city is that this is a dangerous place, quote unquote, where the maids live, with a social stigma attached to being from this area. Therefore, capoeira is often viewed as a way out of this social stigma. One of the students that graduated from this academy claims that capoeira has the ability to re-educate youth and offer social inclusion to create good citizens. He says that capoeira teaches people to see the world in a different form and creates new opportunities. I critically unraveled this claim in order to understand more about the discourse of the development and context of capoeira in this community. Is capoeira a form of social inclusion? For the capoeiristas of this group, the meaning of capoeira under the instruction of their mestre is different than in other places, and in some cases even varies among individuals within this community due to unique life experiences. However, all individuals interviewed spoke of what it means to live as a capoeirista. Individuals who have trained capoeira for some time and are advanced in the practice maintain that there is a drastic difference between those who merely train capoeira and those who live as a capoeirista. Living as a capoeirista forms a philosophy of life for these practitioners. The mestre of this group holds many philosophical values about capoeira that he also teaches to his students and shares with others around the world. Since he began capoeira, he noticed a multitude of positive discourses within capoeira, and he believed that they should be shared in society. Quote, he says, in capoeira, you have access to an uncommon happiness that only capoeira has, that sensation of freedom from everything, end quote. Most practitioners of the art did not have access to liberty due to life conditions. He decided to be a capoeira instructor because he desired to share his happiness with others by educating and uniting everyone while creating mutual respect. Quote, everyone has problems and difficulties, but capoeira liberates them from unpleasant situations because it helps them forget their problems, stress, and tiredness, and they want to share this with their community, end quote. He tries to show this world to everyone around him because, quote, if everyone shares this philosophy with those close to them, we can transform the world for the better, end quote. This mastery explains that capoeira liberates us from the hidden slavery that society obligates us to live and teaches us to respect others. Everyone endures problems and difficulties, but capoeira liberates them from unpleasant situations because it helps them forget the problems, stress, and tiredness, and therefore they want to share this with their community. Therefore, these ideologies exemplify the work of this mastery. Others spoke of the security that capoeira can give you and discuss how they have experienced extreme violence and trauma in their neighborhoods. Capoeira allows you to share positive experiences with each other and live in a different reality. Capoeira creates an outlet for youth in urban peripheries. It also can provide a different perspective of life and opens their mind to different realities and possibilities. It also changes their life because it changes their expectations and teaches that violence is not the way to solve problems. As a result, these youth have a better outlook on life, with many good examples to follow. For example, I'm going to read 3 different quotes from 3 different individuals. The first one, I lived in a very poor place in a favela and we didn't have many things. People are using drugs or death or thieves, and from there it goes on. I want to share the happiness of capoeira with others because I came from a place like this, and through capoeira I found another reality, end quote. Second, if I did not choose the path of capoeira, I would have chosen another path that is not good. Drugs, alcohol, parties, things that throw you far from a healthy life, a life with quality. Of my 7 or 8 friends that started capoeira with me, today 3 are dead, 2 are in jail, and 3 are good, working and studying. Capoeira also was an incentive for me to be a better person, because we come from a difficult place where society throws you down and tells you that you will not be anything. You believe in this and follow the wrong path, this path of drugs, robbery, all the perverse paths. Without the influence of capoeira, I could be in jail. I could be doing the wrong things. I could be dead. I don't know. I could be dead. Capoeira was created in deceit, deception, disguise, and trickery as a means of resistance among enslaved Africans. It was developed as a tool to fight for their freedom. Therefore, we must look deeper than the surface to unravel particular truths about this philosophy of life. It is questionable to trust other capoeiristas, perhaps reflective of humans in our daily lives. Capoeiristas often use a term they call malandragem, that is cunning or trickery, which discloses the actual truth. They then secretly praise their own actions in doing so and explain the matter by stating it's capoeira. You must have malicia or cunning to make it in capoeira as in life. This research demonstrates that capoeira can be viewed as a form of social inclusion. As the research participants have mentioned, capoeira gave them a space in society that was not previously available to them. Capoeira gives them the opportunity of being included and having value as a citizen of a community and larger world in which we live in. Due to the complex world system, hegemonic domination often leads to the oppression of particular groups based on income, race, gender, and place. Capoeira allows individuals from the periphery of São Paulo to resist that domination and create a form of insurgent citizenship for themselves. Capoeira provides belonging and social inclusion on the micro level as well. Participants attend classes regularly and become part of the social group, as they often get together during the day, before and or after classes, to create friendship and camaraderie. However, another topic to be unraveled is the system of structure and power. In the periphery of São Paulo, many of my research participants talk of oppression and quote-unquote the system, and how the system is constantly brainwashing and manipulating humans to have less power and therefore take away their agency as individuals. The system causes them to live in a constant state of insecurity with economic instability due to lack of quality education and lack of resources, leading to increased violence. This diminishes their citizenship and causes them to feel anger inside. Therefore, many of these individuals are products of generations of insecurity, carrying the trauma that occurs as a result of being excluded from society and trying to survive within their circumstances. Consequently, within capoeira, they recreate these same systems of power in which they wish to defeat. They have created a boys' club with a gang-like mafia mentality, which starts at the top and disperses through different levels throughout, depending on hierarchy as well as gender. It is very problematic when individuals do not question hierarchy or authority, especially when abuse is present. Some only have capoeira and need capoeira to escape from their harsh realities in these peripheral urban areas. In addition, humans often react to trauma rather than heal themselves from it due to cultural norms and a lack of resources. It is this constant reaction that is part of the human condition, as is the ability of awareness to be better. However, there exists a separation between those that realize when these instances of abuse occur and others that do not. And therefore, abuse becomes normalized as a means to obtain a false sense of power. Due to its past, deeply embedded in many forms of liberation, capoeira is also viewed in modern times as that which liberates the oppressed. Because oppression takes various forms, this can be liberated from society, from the system, the routine, the body, and the mind. There are numerous dimensions to liberation, that which the final is most difficult in obtaining freedom. But capoeira has been providing a path for all forms of liberation for centuries, leaving space for humans to utilize its philosophy and story to overcome many of life's conundrums, both inside and outside the realm of direct capoeira space within the academy. It is a knowledge base that practitioners can take with them to all aspects of their lives, reminding them of the fundamentals of the art. However, the practitioner must open themselves up for these possibilities for this to prove true. There are many practitioners of capoeira that are not capable of understanding and embodying the concept of the art, which therefore complicate these notions. So it is not to say that capoeira allows for liberation and freedom 100% of the time to 100% of those who choose to partake in the activity. Rather, capoeira provides the path and opens the possibility to another dimension of learning or as being an active agent in society. Thank you very much.